You go on to say that, in your view, the architecture of social media is not conducive for, unsuited, I think is your word, for political discourse. Can you explain that?
Okay, the fact is we have to pay attention that during the last 40, 50 years or last century, there have been many technological disruptions which have been affected this kind of separation, integration of public and private kind of discussion. And we had the invention of TV, media, and newspapers, and we have to accept that each of them kind of has had effects on this kind of process. And the fact is, when we go back to the creation of these social media platforms, they are not really initially made for kind of this discussion that we need in politics, which should be challenging and should be kind of putting different kind of points of view in conflict. These platforms like Facebook and Twitter, to be honest, we just think they have been made for sharing pictures and cat and dog pictures probably. They are not really made for big kind of political discussions.
Yes.
On the other side, for democratic kind of discussions and democratic discourse, it's required that conflicting points of view, they just hit each other and there is kind of challenging discussion. But these platforms, they weren't initially made for this kind of challenging discussions, which would promote kind of debates and would promote kind of democratical kind of discussions. And now because the size of the data which is being created on these platforms are growing exponentially, then there is a certain need for kind of machine learning algorithms kind of to control this flow of information. And this kind of need for machine learning algorithms and this artificial intelligence, it's not really avoidable. Mm-hmm. If you want to have this platform, you should have these algorithms because this data is not kind of possible to be processed by humans.
Right.
So I would say this is mandatory to have these algorithms, but then the question is how these algorithms should manage the political discussion.
I see. And in your view, they are not suited?
We wouldn't say they are not perfectly suitable for this process, but we would say there is more need for transparency on these algorithms and how these algorithms work.
Res.
If you want, I can just discuss more about.
Well, let's see whether we can agree on this. So what you're saying, social media platforms don't, in general, encourage discourse, which is what's needed for political discussions.
They don't encourage kind of debates and challenging debates.
Right.